I need to find out how to do an intro. I keep saying it like I'm going to anytime soon, but maybe if someone that's, damn it. I hate wires, but I hate wireless more, so I'm kind of like in the middle of wires suck because wires show everything wire bad, and then wireless suck because inconsistency. Maybe if somebody, as I was saying, maybe if somebody at some point makes accepts Monero and does a based intro, I will consider it. Maybe I'll reach out to some people that make content that have an intro and ask where they got it. If they got it from AI, then I could do the same. It is no different. It is cool. Oh, hey. Oh, hell nah. All right, we're gonna discuss now that I'm done memeing and looking at stuff. Travel and privacy within mind, mainly pertaining to the people that are in the United States, because other countries apparently are not allowed here, obviously, unless you are Israel. Everyone else, please leave. That's, the perspective of probably everyone outside the United States, and they're probably right. I'm not sure. I'm just saying things for the engagement, so somebody gets angry. So when I travel outside of the United States, when I get my minimal freedom from my wagey, cagey, slavey job, and they're like, yes, you may leave for a short period of time and then come back and make you want to kill yourself. Realistically speaking, when you travel outside the U.S., your rights are left at the border. Fuck TSA, by the way. And most importantly, you are exposed to other countries' laws and rules. So if that's not your thing, probably leave the video. Because this is for the people, Trophy Yellows. What up, Void? I hope you're a Void Linux user, because with that name, if you don't like Void Linux, that'd be unfortunate. So I think that traveling with privacy and mainly Graphene OS is definitely very, very real. I will be making a updated video soon, trademark, about my recent travels and how I used Monero in pretty much my entire existence on the trip, how I paid for stuff with Monero like beforehand, and how I maintain a high level of security depending on if I'm leaving the U.S. or if I'm internally just traveling the U.S. in general. We're going to look at some products that I use on my travels. I think it's important to understand that no product will protect you if you do illegal stuff and commit crimes in other countries. I'm not a lawyer. I am definitely not your lawyer. And I'm also just some retard on the internet that happens to have internet access, a computer, and a microphone. Unfortunate for everyone else that has to sit through this. I think travel is really cool and very important and based, and it allows you to experience different cultures and mainly talk to other people about how American you are, because it's very based and cool to tell people that you're American and that you love America when you're outside of America. And you have to tell them that you're from a major city like LA or New York or Chicago. Otherwise, they will not know you. And it's good for OPSEC, so they'll just think you're in a different state and or city and or part of the United States that you might not reside in. Remember to lie to everyone that you meet in real life, so you can never create fulfilling, loving, long-lasting relationships, as you shouldn't. You should have 4 to 5 different lives that you are living as a double, triple, or quadruple agent. It is the best way to live. So when you are traveling abroad, this is my setup. This is what I do. It may seem schizophrenic and crazy. Now, I don't have Proton Drive anymore, but I'll tell you what I used to do and what I transferred to. Not really the point. So now, obviously, if you go to another country, you should bring yourself a certain amount of cash, because not every country is like credit cards. Not every country is going to accept or make it obtainable to use Monero because it might be legal. I don't travel abroad, to be honest. That's okay. You might be, even if you travel internally in America or whatever country you reside in. Not the point. It's good to take some of these, but it's a shame it's not available for the Redmi 9. There's a reason. I mean, if you don't have a secure platform or a secure from the ground up, then what's the point of putting Graphene OS on your phone? You are achieving nothing, and you are essentially putting yourself at risk with, I would say, a security blanket that offers no protection. It is what I would say obscurity, maybe security through obscurity, because you're trying to achieve a high level of security, which is Graphene OS's main point, not their only point. They are a privacy focused still. They are still like privacy centric in terms of ideology. But if you are putting it on insecure hardware, then you are achieving nothing at the end of the day. This is the reason they pick the Pixel series, because Google decided to build the entire system from the ground up. I know people don't like the idea of buying or using a Google product, but you know what? Touch grass, because it would be better to put it, take the face value of the Graphene OS devs, why they choose the device, versus people making up some like tinfoil hat idea or trying to justify putting something on a outdated, lowly supported MediaTek chip and expecting the same results. I mean, it's like bad foundation, your house is going to suck. Good foundation, you can have something to work with. So it always has to start, it always has to start somewhere. And I'll even say it's actually good that they don't support multiple, like hundreds of thousands of devices, or et cetera, because that takes extra time. And then these companies would take all that responsibility and put it on Graphene OS instead of putting it on themselves. These companies could actually completely achieve the same level of Graphene OS's security and hardware and software requirements. It's a blueprint. They literally have it on their FAQ and a roadmap of how you can achieve it yourself. I mean, it's very trivial, but companies do not care about your privacy. They do not care about the security. That costs money, and costing money doesn't make money in their eyes when it comes to security, because it is not an ROI. There's no way to make extra money off of it. Though it would be a way to make money off of it, because you wouldn't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars into paying fines for data breaches and so forth, and all these exploits that probably happen to you. Now that my rant is over with that, Graphene OS is, I also have tips for people that do not run Graphene OS. The best option you can do, if you're going to do it, is to debloat all of the proprietary apps out of there with the Android Universal Debloater. Make sure you have a device that gets good updates and always update your software, and install minimal. Adrian has become too closed source. We need something much better from scratch. Android has not become closed source. I mean, that would be incorrect. It's becoming more Apple centric in terms of like lockdown and the way that they are enforcing the developer ID. But the good thing is Graphene OS, because it's not certified, they are not affected by this. If we were to write from something from scratch, who's going to do it? How are we going to do it and it not be, who's going to do it? What would they do differently? I mean, it's like asking, like, why don't we just make a whole new operating system? Especially like mobile operating systems need to be greenlit for all these applications. They would have to find a way to work with APKs, which that would be its own nightmare. It hasn't been done for a reason, because there's no financial incentive to do so. And I agree that a company needs to have a financial reason to do so. Google has fuck you money. Because they have fuck you money, they can take L's on like Android being open source. And I mean, contrary to popular opinion, Google loves open source because it's free labor at the end of the day for them. I mean, quite literally, people will just work on projects and be like, hey, Google, look what we found. Thank you for not paying for me, but here you go. I don't think we need something better from scratch. I think we need just these vendors to get in line with good security practices. I mean, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be reliant on the Linux kernel that is kind of used in the core functionality of Android. So I agree with that. And there should be a better, more minimalist approach, something similar to like gvisor, where like, absolutely, we're free labor for them, for sure. I would say that something going over to like, if gvisor could hit the mobile platform, that would be the most optimal way, because everything would be running in containers, but we would have to have, especially newer processes can achieve this. You have to have something similar to like nested virtualization. That would be in the most ideal world, but is it going to happen in our lifetime? Probably not. Did I hear Gentoo? For real. I like to write everything myself with zero dependencies, for sure. And NIRI. Guys, Gentoo mentioned. Remember, mention Gentoo and they will come. The thing is, like, in a perfect world, Android would be replaced with something like gvisor, or something with like within a container platform, and get rid of the aforementioned like Linux dependency on the Linux kernel. For sure, that would be the most ideal, but that's not going to happen. But it is, instead of a gvisor, you should use VMs. Far stronger barrier. Yeah, I'm talking about like on a mobile platform. Like VMs on a phone would be fucking ridiculous. It'd be cool. Obviously, virtual machines are always going to be better than containerization, because of the way it operates with like it interacts with like the host system, for sure. Virtual machines might be a possibility in like the future with like mobile operating systems. I mean, we're getting there. It's just not going to happen anytime soon. We're definitely getting there, like 100%. Like, I mean, you can run virtual machines technically in that. Google already has a VM monitor called, Cross VM, which is used in Chrome OS. Oh, for sure, yeah. It's also performance. So it's used in Chrome OS. Oh, for sure. I'm assuming Google has figured out something with money. I mean, they have fuck you money. I believe that's based off Gentoo, right? And that would be cool if they could push that to like a mobile platform, for sure. Something like gvisor or any container like way to perform containers on the mobile platform would obviously be far better. But I mean, Android is relatively good because it's got SE Linux. It has enforced SE Linux policies. The way it performs like sandboxing. So I think at bare minimum, we're at the best case scenario for like Android with Graphene OS, because the way that they enhance the sandboxing and the security. It uses Gentoo tooling, but it's not Gentoo based. Oh, okay. For sure. Wow, based. Well, it's based Gentoo. As long as it's not Debian or Systemd, I'm good. So traveling with when you travel abroad and you make the decision to go into the other. By the way, I saw you on my homepage. I don't know about your situation, but how do you protect your privacy from cameras in the real world? There are a lot of backdoor cameras out there. Um, I mean, just look normal, just normal. That's really about it. Look normal. Don't dress in all black. I think Google should swap out the Linux kernel for something better. Oh, for sure. There's definitely the Linux kernel is becoming very bloated, and I love Linux, but there's better options out there. Apparently, GNU Herd is like in the works. Yeah, it's a major failure point for sure. How do you protect your privacy from cameras in the world? There's not really a way to do it. You just want to look normal. Your best thing is to look normal. Don't wear all black. Don't like be the guy that wears tactical gear in public. Like if you saw me like in the real world and you looked at me, you wouldn't know that I have like a gun on me. And I have like I try to look inconspicuous and like the most normal like person that you could ask for. That's how you do it. Google already has their own microkernel, but GNU Herd is based. It has the word GNU in it. I mean, even if they made a better microkernel, other like vendors would have to adopt it. They would have to want to. It would have to be a want, even if it is maybe better. I mean, Google, like Android's been pretty battle tested in recent oopsie daisies. But if you're, perspective wise, it's always good to, when you're in public, is to make yourself look as normal as possible. I don't know why there's so much attack surface area and so much to deal with. I really like it. Do you happen to have a GitHub address or something like it, like X? No, it's awful. I trust Graphene OS words. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, the Linux kernel is awful. Graphene OS's point on what the Android at its current source is the best option we have, and but the Linux kernel is pretty bad. From what I read, Graphene OS is basically going to be like Qubes OS in the future. Yeah, that's their roadmap, but that's like in a distant future. I mean to be able to run everything in a hypervisor like fashion, obviously where everything is its own virtual machine. Yeah, that'd be fucking the most ideal way to run it. That's the most ideal way to run Linux now, unless you use something like Secure Blue or Gentoo and you seriously go through the documentation on how to mitigate any attack surface and harden it, and you debloat a lot of the kernel itself. I do have a GitHub, but not. But if you want to ever converse or get involved in the project of me spreading free and open source software knowledge, you can go to my my Twitter profile, X profile, whatever. Click on the glowing stack link tree. It's like an open source link tree, and it has all my contacts and socials on there. I've seen their Twitter post, and they show interest on Redux and microkernels. Yeah, Redux is Rust based, so of course it would be ideal. It would be the most ideal because I think Redux is the lack of adoption for people that say Rust doesn't need any form of adoption because we need to just write safe C is just out of touch. Humans are going to make mistakes. These mistakes are just going to happen. Why wouldn't we want to adopt with very sensitive, secure areas with something that is memory safe, which could, in theory, be way better for running some of these services? I mean, just in general, it's a better idea. There's nothing wrong with having safeguards in your code, and obviously, if you have to break these safeguards, you know how to do it in a safer manner. I mean, it's just a reality. Microkernels would be kind of sick. Microkernels are kind of based because it's got the word micro in it, and I can relate. So if you are traveling, one of the first things that you should do, if you're traveling across out of the borders, I would get a belt with a zipper for money, because using your credit card is probably not the most ideal thing to do. And most importantly, you using your debit card everywhere is going to just be tracking all your transactions. If you get robbed, that's even worse. So most of the time, people won't be like, "Give me your belt," because um, they'll be like, I mean, they're not like sucking your dick or anything. So like, obviously, just throw like whatever the currency is, like a couple dollars, maybe 50, 20 to 100 in your belt, and that would be step one. I do this all the time. I think it's relatively the best option. Microcurrency advertisers would be awesome. It would be. I don't know, man. Frankly, for an asymmetric war that could be challenging the FBI, we need much more security and build everything from scratch. Reverse engineering is important. No, some things shouldn't be built from scratch, but we definitely need to start rewriting maybe some critical infrastructure in Rust. I mean, that would be probably the most ideal. It's not going to stop everything, but if it can stop a lot of the human errors that happen with like memory management control with like C and C++ and etc. I mean, that's the problem. I don't think Android Sandbox is the best option, as there are a lot of syscalls that were required for a basic function. I mean, if Android wasn't the best option, don't you think Graphene OS would have just done it themselves by now? I mean, they have the funding and the time. I think it's the best option for now. And some of these functions are dangerous, and setcomp BPF can only filter syscalls, not reduce their risk. It could be a lot better. For sure, it could always be better. I just think that Android, Graphene OS has improved on Android. And when you go like through the Android's like documentation on how they handle a lot of, especially from version like 10 and up, like Android 10 and up, they have definitely done some major improvements with isolating a lot of critical components if there was like malware. Like people bring up the baseband being compromised and having its own chip and it can be tracked. Well, not really. It's the baseband is actually like isolated for a reason. I mean, baseband isolation should be the bare minimum. Graphene OS says their Android and Linux is going to get worse in the future, and they really want to get out of the Linux ecosystem. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Linux isn't a homogeneous system. Linux isn't really a homogeneous system, so like, of course, it's not necessarily the most ideal for a lot of things. It kind of depends on like who you ask. If like is Gentoo better than like Debian? For sure. Is Arch Linux better than like Linux Mint? Probably. Is Void Linux better than all those combined? Yeah, it is, because I use it. And so I don't blame them for wanting to get out of the Linux. Linux doesn't want to adopt anything homogeneously. And the kernel is, though. If you technically look at it, you can strip out and build the kernel however you want. People do it all the time. The kernel isn't even agreed on in a lot of, like, when you get into like the minimalist, bloatless Linux extremists, they want to like strip out a lot of the functionalities of like the kernel that have no use. You use Void Linux with zero hardening, for sure. Why would I harden my desktop? I don't care about it. You can definitely go into Void Linux and give it more hardening, for sure. But for me, there's no point. This is just like my streaming desktop like setup. My laptop, where my critical infrastructure and most secure aspect ratio is always going to be with CubesOS. I assume that all Linux distributions can and will be compromised, and there would be 0 point of me entrusting and going through configurations and hardening when I can just harden, do some extreme tweaking with CubesOS and just call it a day. It's done. And monolithic kernels are not good for security. They should have just used a microkernel anyway. For sure, there's probably, the idea that everything is going to be the same and everyone's going to agree on it is just not going to happen in Linux. It's just not possible. Wayland is far superior than X11, and we haven't even adopted it yet. It's barely adopted. It's actually hated. People are just hating Wayland for no reason, even though it's far superior. For sure. I mean, Linus isn't going to do it. If he was going to do a microkernel, he would have done it a long time ago. The real problem is System D, though. I'm a System D hater. I even went down the System D does sandboxing, but in reality, you don't technically need it, and it's technically worse. Wayland has massive adoption. What are you talking about? There's Linux distributions that are having a stroke for even its existence. The adoption hasn't hit CubesOS. The adoption is barely there for a lot. A lot of people hate Wayland because they use more than one monitor, or they lose 4 to 5 frames in a game and just drop it and go back to X11. It's very common. You can just go on Linux forums and just see people hit the re button about Wayland being even enforced or looked at. System D sandboxing can be replicated on other init systems. Any shareholder value? Always shareholder value. Doing somersaults inside sandbox is very tiring. That sounds like some Midwestern emo shit. System D sandboxing can be replicated. Yeah, for sure. It can be. Other init systems are far superior. I still think my less hardened Void Linux is far more secure than your average Debian user. I should find a way to make a T-shirt where it's like average Void Linux hardening system, 0 effort. Yeah, my frame rate is important. Yeah, I mean, just talk to normal users that like have tried Wayland and they're like, this is cancer and I hate it. I love Wayland. I don't care. XFCE is much faster than KD5. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm an XFCE4 hate. I'm actually XFCE hater just in general. I do like OpenBox though. I've come to terms with I'm an OpenBox enjoyer. It's very lightweight, very based. I only use 2 init systems. OpenRC and dinit. OpenRC is pretty based. I like it. I would say the I mean Alpine Linux is pretty based too. I mean, it's very light, minimal. I've used it as a desktop before. It's chill. I also tried Run It and System D. System D sucks. What about i3M? I've never used. Is that a window manager or is that a window manager? Because if it's a window manager, I've never used one and I've never used one and actually liked it. I think OpenBox is a window manager. If that is, then I found one that I like. Other than that, I do not like them. I've used Sway. Why are you using the X11 virus? Or even better, DWL? Evo Dojo doesn't even want to use Void Linux. The man cares about his frames. Leave him alone. It wouldn't even be like a good, like, I think Wayland is great. I've never had an issue with Wayland, but I don't like XSFD. It's the default on Cubes, and it just works, and I don't have to worry about compatibility jank. Yeah, for sure. Same. I use you can switch it to Wayland and you can switch it to KDE, but it's unenjoyable and you have to fuck around with a lot of shit. So with CubesOS there is a discussion, and hopefully it will go through, where they create a Wayland virtual machine stack that will handle all of it, like the processes through Wayland, and that will be the middleman. And that's how it's going to serve you the content and everything, and that'd be sick. You can switch it for other window managers. So, but it's not recommended. It breaks Cube's security model. For sure, yeah. Kind of. Yes, because you're going out of scope of, their recommendation. It's just not worth it. I've done it. I tried to get, I got plasma working. I did not care. I did not like it. You just gotta wait. You're gonna be old and you're probably gonna be dead. For the Wayland virtual machine edition, that would be sick. It would be like a USB, the USB virtual machine. It would just set it up and it would handle. Why does everyone use X11? Compatibility. Wayland Water. It's just a compatibility thing on this chat. Wayland Water. But I can see why people don't like Wayland and they don't want to use it. No. Let's see. Yeah, it's been around since 2008 and it still hasn't replaced. Wayland, X Wayland exists? Yeah, I think it does actually. 17 years and it still hasn't fucking hit. Oh, not a, oh no, a Debian X Wayland on Android. Wayland 2025 outdated future. Wayland 2025 why Linux is finally ditching. Yeah, this was 9 months ago. This guy's wrong. X Wayland is the patch to Xor server Kobe's allowing running X clients under Wayland. Interesting. Now I have to find it. You're treating Wayland as is the obscure software that was made like 5 months ago. It's let's see even. And it's the default on 99% of Linux desktops. I don't believe that. I wouldn't say it's experimental, but people do not like it. Oh, wait, here we go. Well, no one uses Ubuntu. That's the first mistake. Wayland is the default most Linux installs you do. It's only 52%. Wayland is the default session on 52%. That's far off from 99%. 80% respondents choose Wayland as their preferred system versus 20% for Xorg. KDE Plasma 6 released February 24 made Wayland the default. Plasma 6.8 expected later in 2026 will remove X11 entirely. Fedora 43 and 25 both dropped LX11 session to support 2025. These critical Xorg vulnerabilities were disclosed in early 25. Someone tracked back to over 20-year code base. That's a 40% off traction, buddy. I got a little off topic, but what exactly do you want, sir? What level of user experience privacy are you looking for? None. GNOME full default since 2017. Full default Wayland only partial and also support development. I don't think now you put in Terminal Linux installs when Terminal Linux and I tried a week ago and I loved it. I'll check it out. Based OpenBox, no native support finally. I still don't think I think Xorg's security vulnerabilities are a problem, and it's an issue. My thing is, I don't think there should be anything enforced. If people want to use X11 and people want to use Wayland, they should still choose. People should still have choice. Obviously, I'm going to always in favor the more secure and better option, but that's what Linux is about. It's about choice. If I want to install an outdated software package, I should be able to. I think people should choose Wayland out of their interest, not enforce Wayland. I don't think any of them should be the default. I think you should just choose whatever This is my conflicting arguments with the free and open source perspective. Should Wayland be the default in a perfect world? For sure, but people should still be able to choose it. Because if you enforce something like this, you're taking away the freedom of people. You're taking away their choice. I don't like a lot of default. I like Linux to be as... I like to choose as much as possible. Because I think if you see the benefits of Wayland, you're going to just choose it. And switching your from Plasma to Wayland is not that hard. GNOME 49 drops X11 in 2025, Kitty announces. So we're at 9 major distributions. 9! Well, I don't think most devs are interested in maintaining a shit code base. Of course, for sure. It will be adopted, but only 9 distributions. Do you know how many Linux major distributions are there? I will migrate back to Gentoo and glibc and sysinit in the future. Well, I don't think sysinit is horrible. Please don't. Just use OpenRC, as you should. Yeah, OpenRC is based. What percentage of Linux users run Wayland? In January 20, Arch Linux community are 80%. So that's, in the Arch Linux community, it's 80%. Report Wayland is their preferred session type. As GNOME removed X11 support in 2025, though it briefly reinstated that X11 is scheduled for a permanent removal in GNOME 50. Some distributions have already stopped shipping GNOME X11 session before the upstream. OpenRC based. Yeah, true. Chimera. I hate this. I hate this look. It's cancer already. You like this shit? This is terrible. Plasma Gang. Wow. Wow, no open box option? Gay. This might install. 2 gigs? That's pretty bloated, man. You didn't even read about the About page? Do you think I read before I install something? No. Reading's for nerds. Part hashtag 5000. Exactly. If there's system DM out. You can use the CLI in one. It's just CLI. Traditional large distributions are complex and carry large amount of baggage. It's easy to do things with them, but it's difficult to understand what's under the hood. That means as soon as the user system strays behind the path, it's expectation for developers to system. Okay. Okay. Compiler runtime stack, LLVM. Oh, nice. Based Musil. It's Musil. How is there going to be systemd, bitch? I didn't fucking read that far. C standard library, based Musil, core userland, based free BSD, internet services. I don't know what DN it is. I'm not gay. Audio stack, Pipewire based, desktop environment, GNOME. Literally, there's more in one option available for each component, but the default is 10 and will be recommended. Portable, based. But how much RAM does it use at our system toolchain? Oh, CClang, LLE, as well as runtime process compiler runner. The C library is provided by Musil, patched in using based Musil. Okay, I'll just download this on the normal internet. Oh, it's got 13 minutes. We're good. All right, well, that's downloading, and we are continuing. So if you decide that you want to leave the country and you got your belt, there are a few other things that I would say you could do. This is what I do. It has package hardening. Oh, based. You could potentially, this is what I do. So in previous, when I had Proton and Proton Drive, I would back up my phone, delete it, upload it to Proton Drive, cross the border, and then re-download it. There's a lot of mitigations you can only observe in Android and Chrome OS. Ooh, wow. It sounds like it's honestly a sexually transmitted disease. So what I would do is I would take my device, I would delete it, aka Graphene OS, I would do its C backup vault, upload it to Proton Drive, and then re-download it when I'm in said country and restore. Void Linux mind virus. Yeah, but reading is gay. You don't need to read when you have Void Linux. It's too powerful. All the viruses get sucked into the void and sucked hard. Phrasing. So after you delete your phone and restore it on the other side, you kind of have like a really good clean slate, because there is some evidence that like when you cross borders, they check your devices. Obviously, don't completely wipe it and make it set up as new. Just make it look like a normal phone and then do a restore when you land. Obviously, okay, is this enough to convince you? Once you terminate, Linux was made by a person who used to work in Void Linux. No, I guess I forgot to be notification about this stream. Or maybe you forgot to check your notifications for the stream. Have you considered that? So once you delete your phone and you're in like a safe place or whatever, you're at your hotel, you can just install it. Now there is another option I do. I actually use these people while this is downloading. You should just get Kangaroo USB. Now obviously this is a little bit more less secure because it's on top, it's like in your possession, but you could get something by the Kangaroo and get a security key. YouTube is being an idiot again. Mom, cancel all my meetings. For real. YouTube is being an idiot. So you could get this is a really good, and the Defender 3000 actually is not only just encrypted, it has a hardware switch on it, I believe. Yes, this is the one that has a switch that allows you to make it into read-write mode only. It has like a way to make it read-only mode and no write, so people can not tamper with it. This Kangaroo is pretty solid. This was it looks like it's from 2009. Yeah, this website does look old, but they're very good. They're very recommended. They're just they don't care about the marketing, but they have like they don't care about the fucking uh, looks of everything. But this is actually a very solid. Um, the military grade thing is whatever. Everyone does that. This is a solid option out there. My friend traveling internationally all over this place like any other weekend, and he's never had his device searched. Why take the risk? And how does he know? When you hand over when you hand over your stuff, you don't know. It's not about military grade protection. Everyone does that. I mean, that's just a standard bullshit marketing. It's easy for consumers to understand. I think it's cheesy and lame, but it's easy to understand for average people that are buying this. Self-encrypting SSDs are based though, so fuck you on that one. I would say that if you are traveling, you should always expect the worst. You never want it to happen. I mean, next week your friend could go somewhere and quite literally get searched in their anus, and then they'll think about, wow, why did my friend comment that? Because the FBI saw it, the feds. Tell me if he gets raided next week. It'll be kind of funny, actually. He just TSA just randomly starts fisting his ass full of in his phone. And I mean, there's tons of stories of people just getting fucking pulled aside and being like, let me see your devices. I mean, you just have no rights in other countries. Full disk encryption plus regular drive. Self-encrypting drives are great. I mean, they're used in tons of places. They're based. It's got Opal. Opal and TTA compliant is based. Opal is based. I watched a whole video on Opal. It's kind of unique and very awesome. If someone steals it, the power is cut from it's encrypted when it's stolen. It's in case somebody steals your drive, and it's based. Sun Kutsin does a really. He's like a security researcher. He does a really good breakdown for the self encrypting drives. He has a really good video on it. It's pretty cool. It's just cool to learn about. A lot of desktops would benefit from it. Obviously, you can't do Lukes on top of it, but it's pretty base. It's pretty cool. The argument is like that. Well, if it's on, just have a password. Actually, just have a password because once it gets powered off, it's encrypted. Let's learn more. YouTube is doing a weird thing where they show vague error after like 40 seconds of watching. Head to watch on Twitch. Wow, unfortunate. Secure pre-boot password authentication. I like DWM's tiling so that I can use YouTube chat and watch Twitch. Huh, interesting. Tiling window managers, I don't use them because I'm not gay. Actually, let me do something real quick. I want to see if this works. Ooh, oopsies. If anyone messaged anything, I saw None of it. Oh. He's gonna like Ex Libre. I'm gonna like, yeah, Ex Libre. Billy Bob, are you not learning anything? You're still using X11 virus on Ex Libre. Ex Libre, I'm gonna like, yeah, yeah. Ex Libre is shit, literal shit. He's gonna like Ex Libre, dog shit. The person who made it doesn't know how to do math, and removing Xorg security features, there's a reason they removed source. I can't send links, but just look at the pull requests. I can send links though. And damn it. Look, the internet understand what I'm about to do. Xlibra is a fork of Xor server with lots of code cleanup. Oh. This guy says different. From 2025, hey, Tumble, yo, open source forums. Xlibra is a fork of the Xorg server with lots of code cleanups and enhanced functionality. What about LibreX, a new version of Xorg? That has no understanding of the whole concept, pseudo cleanup of code which leads to breakage. There's nothing noteworthy at all of the post other than a bunch of tinfoil conspiracy theories, delusional rantings, and spreading hate and FUD. This guy doesn't look like he doesn't understand what FUD is for some reason. He just gives me... Wow, he was active 9 days ago. 12 hours recently. Still active in the based open sus. Let me find it. I stopped reading when he had to say he started ranting about DEI. DEI doesn't even have any meaning when it comes to voluntary contributors. It's just became a euphemism for people to use when the word they actually want to use frowned upon. I'm more worried about what it means for Linux as a whole. So many distros and projects seem to be attempting to cancel this lone dev at the cost of major functionality. Nothing in the README or COC, which literally just 404, are alarming. If you read past the the project leader can't do math. Cool. If he can't do math, that's what I can't do math. Math is gay. Actually, math sucks. The tech is what it is. Wayland is 15 years old and still doesn't work for most stuff I do. This is 2025, by the way, only a year ago. My $1,600 Razer laptop can't even run Wayland without chugging or crashing or having fits. External monitors, and X11 is smooth and just works. The project leader can't do that. What happens to Steam Gaming? What about upcycle and legacy pieces? The thing is, like, I'm for Wayland, but this is like the common pain point that people bring is that multiple monitors are awful, and they are. I have used Wayland with multiple monitors, and when I first used Wayland with multiple monitors years ago, it was ass. Now I have no problem, and it's generally no issue now. And I think Wayland is based and cool. But that was always the pinpoint: is multiple monitors and frame rate drops for gamers. Wayland works perfectly fine for most users. If you would have followed the forums, you would have seen that many issues disappear when users switch from X11 to Wayland. So Wayland is the solution. A single guy who's absolutely no clue what he's doing besides, is this really just Wyclept? I sent you the pull request. It's in the chat. I'm assuming Wyclept, this is Wyclept's comment right here. He's really just Bussy Penguin. from what he's doing is breaking besides the software stack. He can't revive a dead, broken piece of software. He only tries to attempts to blame for others' incompetence. No problem with Steam and Wayland, including Optimus DevOps. The way forward is disseminating bug reports and get issues fixed. For most users, Wayland as a environment is function as required. I'm watching anime. I'll take a break and watch this for a few. Watching anime implies that you don't have a wife, which we know is not true. So we know you don't actually watch anime. You're just watching hentai. They're not the same thing, Jay. Valve, the company behind Steam, has invested a significant effort to improve support for Wayland, particularly making Proton and Wine functionality more reliable within Wayland. I've been looking around. It seems the only thing Wayland is solid for is humdrum normies who used a web browser and played some games, not power users with CAD design and need artistic tablet. Yeah, I've never... YouTube probably deleted it without telling. Without telling you. I'm watching anime. A few what? A few what? That's true. A few hours, a few days, a few minutes. There's an old version of Plasma you're playing with. Fire up a new version and evaluate it. Something. That's why Dog Whistle, the open source community, is already agnostic to demographic information like this, as absolutely anyone contributes. So the complaint is literally written, is completely nonsensical. His assertion is diversity is racism. His assertion that diversity is racism is a statement that may as well be a 1984 quote. To complain about DI in open source communities is to complain about demographics of people who choose to contribute. Also, look how they're planning to implement Wayland security features. A few could be minutes, seconds, or hours. They're using PID to identify clients. It's clear they can't code. This is shit practice. On the subject of diversity, anyone old enough to remember my time, Microsoft launched Kinetic, and it just could not track black people. Will be aware of the fact that diversity in tech is actually important regardless. Anyone tracking their current discourse about accessibility and links, including the effectiveness, it can also... was there something with the baggage of XF86.org or something they added? It can also lead to app removal, app RM rifling your system, something they added. Watch out, Billy might just say it's working on my machine. It seems the most of this thread is applications to desktop environments, nothing to do with Wayland. In all fairness, to be running Linux, you always seem to need two similar machines, one for tests. Alas, I have more than that, one for use. If I had spare $1,600 dropping a laptop, it would be a MacBook M4. Okay, this guy's a fag. My current setup is no issues with Wayland. All the stuff I need works, both hardware and software, but it started the transition here probably a year ago to figure out what worked and what didn't. If you're going to use X11, use Xorg. Xlibre is shit. Why do you spam though? Oh, that's probably because Wyclef probably has like autism or something, and he doesn't know how to write a full sentence. Anyone with autism writes the exact same way he does. I can't talk because I'm tired of Xlibre bullshit. It's not suckless. No, he's probably asking why you're typing in one sentence per fucking second. Like, Xlibre is shit if you're going to use Xlibre. Like, you could have put that all in one sentence. I know what Billy's saying. But I talk the same way. I can't knock the autistic talk. It's not good. Don't lose sight of QT5. QT is happening either. Oh, okay. I have a MacBook Air 3. It's nice, really quite nice, provided that you are carefully with setting up your Apple account. I use a German ISP with an email account with a German domain. Man, these people are... I just hate this YouTube. I just hate the YouTube chat UI. No, we know it's the autism. It's all right, man. So I have a separate... I have to separate sentences. I feel like you mean messages. I like to call this fragment messaging because the whole message is fragmented into several. What you're referring to is real life autism messaging. He says it's just because they them say this because they them say this because YouTube UI, but in reality, it's their brain talking through their fingertips. It's okay. We accept all they thems, especially Billy Bo Jenkins, which their gender is unknown, and we respect that. Fedora's FC's could decide whether to replace upstream XR server with X Libre. That's true. Wyclef could be he, her. Wayland is good because not have said this. I think Wayland is good for its own reasons. I think it's better. Fuck, I mentioned myself. Nice try, Chloe. True. You're never getting my pronouns. Yeah, true. Pronouns would be an identifiable source. We'd be what she, him. I'm gonna guess Wyclef is a man because they scream in all caps with certain words, and that's like what boomers do. People in their 40s. They'll always capitalize just one word for no reason. I haven't slept in 48 hours, so I'm going to bed. I've been following the broadcast, but I'm focused more on completely eliminating all protection tracking and telemetry monitoring. That's just not really possible, but you should get sleep and possibly touch grass. See you next time. No, you're good. You're not spamming. Trust me. There's worse people that come into my chat. Thank you. Hope you get some based sleep, man, and touch grass. It's always good for you and the soul. Are you apologizing for Wyclef? I'm apologizing for they, them, because they might be 39 years old. Exactly. I never capitalize. The fuck you mean? You just capitalize fucking getting. You said you're never getting my pronouns. That's what a boomer would do. It's just bold text. Same thing. Also, the screaming thing is from IRC. International Rage Committee. Void. Big titties. Uncultured. I don't know why people call the internet centralized. LANCHAD has a good tutorial on setting up everything you will probably use on the internet on your own BPS hardware. Even though LANCHAD says you can set up a website in an afternoon, LANCHAD, more like LandGlow. Also, you don't own the VPS, just rent it out. and you don't use apostrophes. Wow, guys, don't be a bunch of grammar Nazis. I don't actually. I agree with the VPS part. I would never use cloud service provider. You don't own the hardware. Fuck proper grammar. That's what a woman would say. Women don't exist, by the way. I can do whatever I want. It's true. Ladies, quit fighting. Mom, Dad, please, no divorce. I can't go through another one. I don't like the idea of using a VPS because I don't own the hardware. I don't know what they are or not doing to the hardware that I am using. I don't know if they're monitoring the traffic. I would just rather do everything on my own hardware locally. True, you are ungovernable. I would say that your best option is to actually just buy an inexpensive server and just run it yourself. There's really no point in using a VPS unless you're in a country where electricity costs is through the roof or it's borderline illegal. Or you just, I guess, don't want to invest into yourself for sure, but it's just not, I don't think it's ideal. Ooh. Just live in the data center? That's gay, actually. I think the use for visas is that you don't give away your home address in your website. You can. There's tons of ways you can hide that, and why would you host a website that other people could get to? I hosted many websites from my house, and used ways to. There's ways you can proxy the IP address. And why would you want the VPS to know where you live? You know how much information you got to give them besides the ones you have to pay for with Monero. But do you trust them? You know, I don't know. There's pros and cons. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not saying it's the end all be all. Why Arizona though? That sounds like someone. That's a very specific state you picked. It sounds like a very Arizonia thing to do. Look at all these illegal Linux ISOs. Chimera. What about GUIX install? Just host it in a hardened bunker censored from Google Maps. Google Maps is a problem. Let's see. What's it based on? Just generic Linux? But how much RAM does it use? Let's give it 9 gigs, 8 cores. In this house, GNU is forbidden. Why not Serbia? But GNU based. Look, if the GNU Foundation rejects any form of digital ID or attestation, then I respect them more than the Linux distributions that are embracing it or accepting it. You're not using ARM, are you? Oh, God damn it! If you use ARM, you're not a real person. This happened last time. This is a common mistake. You haven't been around, but this is something that always happens with me. I'm just gonna download it over like a normal browser. He did ARM64 in the Alpine install too, I think. Yeah, this is a common thing, guys. Hear me out. Oopsies. Do you know what an oopsie is? Have you considered? I would say even Docker based. Oh. Oh, there it is. x86. Base ISO. Plasma game. Uh-huh. Oh. Oops. There we go. Country road, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Oops, I moved out of the chat, guys. So if you said anything that's super important, I did not see it. Oh, there we go. You fucking... he did use the minimal image. I'm not waiting 2 years for the plasma image. It's not going to be 2 years. I'm doing under... I was downloading that over Tor. I'm not downloading over Tor now. Country road, take me home to the place that I belong. West Virginia. Wait, why wouldn't you wait 2 years? Dude, that'd be crazy. I would love to stream for 2 years straight. Oh, that'd be sick. I should attempt that. You're American, right? No, I'm Canadian. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ba-do-do-do-do-do. What about ITP torrenting the plasma image? It would be slower than 2 years. Yo, if I had like 2 years, if somebody, if I had enough, maybe try that. The closest mirror to you is Quebec. It's already downloaded. Country roads take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia. Yeah, what if I'm in Big Cock? I wish YouTube's live stream policy was more than 12 hours, because I would for sure just keep live streaming on this PC for a 2 years of indefinitency and then just stop. But I believe YouTube's policy is 12 hours. That would be quite interesting, quite bad, because not because of how the fuck are you Canadian and don't know what BC means? It means big cock. No matter where he is in North America, it's still the closest mirror to him. What is YouTube's live stream limit? Push it to the limit. Limit in hours. YouTube has no limit on how long live streams last, allowing for continued streaming. However, only streams shorter than 12 hours get saved. Video demand. What is insert picture of R word person? Oh, retard? Dun, dun, dun. I wonder if I sing Country Roads long enough, like through here, that I'll get a DMCA strike directly from like whoever owns that song. West Virginia, big titties. Well, guys, what I need to do is just find a way where I just stream for 2 years straight, but I'm just looking up tour sites. Checking every tour site for 2 years straight would be kind of interesting. Oh no. YouTube limits to age restrictions at live stream. Wow. That's what I should do. If I could get the amount of donations of what I make yearly. Wow, X Libre on Linux. Interesting. Oh no, Twitter. Monero Town needs your help. They are suffering. Wow. There's a place called Monero Town. Based! Let's see if this is a very based privacy pack, guys. Let's look. This isn't sponsored at all. Gmail, Proton, even though Toot is better. Google Photos, Image is better. Google Search, Brave's good. Chrome, Brave is based. WhatsApp, Signal is based. Notesnook, just use Joplin locally. Don't trust them. Google Drive, Entei Locker. How about you just use your like own image? Image is based. Isn't this is kind of the? Oh, sorry, no. Google Drive. Maybe Proton Drive. Actually, Crypty is pretty nice. Google Password, Bitwarden, KeePass is better. Google Auth, Entei Auth would not put all my eggs in one basket. So I would probably go with okay. Google Calendar, 2D Calendar is better. Entei Auth, I would use Aegis. Controversial take. Play Store or Crescent is based. No VPN. I mean, don't use Brave VPN. It's pretty bad, probably. Just use Mulvad. ChatGPT, just run your own LLM. Google Home, Home Assistant based. Google Maps, organic maps is dog shit. Use Co-Maps. Google Translate, Brave translates okay. Windows, Secure Blue, okay take. Even though CubesOS is more based and cooler. Android Graphy OS, and not really difference. It's just a hardened version. It's better. Microsoft 365, Fileverse, DocDac Sheets. Never used it. No, thank you. I'm not a loser. What's your controversial take, Wyclef? You found out women existed? Because they don't. Interesting. Just use Nostr, guys. The real based take. Oh, wait. I downloaded the thing. What am I waiting for? Do. What is the censorship? Did they censor the F word? Maybe. Oh, wait. What are you talking about? Like fuck? What? What F word? Tiny Core Gang. What did I download again? Oh, there we go. Chimera. Damn it. Why can't I say swear words? Oh. It might... Huh? It might be. YouTube's getting dystopian. Is this like George Orwell's book, 1984? You know, apparently it got removed from Amazon. Yeah, whatever. Can't wait for Jeep Orwell's Hyperbook 1984. That'd be kind of funny. Because I like Gleep. Or Bops. Gleep or Bops. Let's do... Isn't it console? Yeah. OS? HTOP. Wow, no, HTOP default installed? What's the package manager? Oh. You have to do a manage. It's like Arch? Like Arch? Oh, okay. Well, what's their package manager? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, it uses do as. No, I omitted the ls. Alpine is based. It's not Alpine based. Alpine based, but they have their own repos. Should just install the system first. No, that's gay. What's the default? Gamer. No. Oh man, we have to install it now. All right, give me a second. Oh. Okay, it is. Of course not. Oh, it's APK add. Damn it, I should have done tac Y to save me seconds. It could have been gamer. Okay, H-top. Wow, using a whole ass gig? Gay! Pretty sure APK doesn't have the Y option. Wow, that's lame. Think of all the extra wasted time if they could have a TAC Y. TAC Y saves hours of your life in years, but hours. A whole ass fucking 2 gigs to run this. Sickening. In this economy, APK etch fast. TAC Y? Let's see. Nope. No TAC Y. They do not care about your time. It's storing the entire system in RAM, I think. For sure. Yeah. It's running Plasma. What do you think? That's a lot for Plasma, man. I don't know. I run Plasma and it's nowhere near that. No, I run... Sorry, GNOME. Boom! Look at that big D for balls. Yeah, see, Billy is right. Install the system and run HTOP there for a more accurate measurement. Yeah, but installing it would... What the fuck is this? I hate it already. Isn't there an install? It's not even asking me to install it. Where's the install part? When my hardened Gen2 ThinkPad ran Plasma, it used a little under the gigabit of RAM. I assume Termina is a little bit more optimized. Web. Eject. Tor browser is the Edge background. Are you dumb? Is in the background. You have to do manual install? Oh, okay. What does Tor browser have to do with that? Can you read? No. First thing before installing the OS, you need to mount the partitions with the desired level. Okay. The point is, I can't read. Oops. This is the same guy who did hardened Gen2 install and stream. For sure. People think I'm like a technically literate person. I'm not. I'm just interested. That's the point. I think installing Gen2 from memory isn't like a skill. Like a lot of my server infrastructure is really in containers, and I read a lot of documentation. I have hours of configs, fuck ups, fails. I mean, that's how tech works. Think about your first like install. Oh, fdisk. That's what I need. VDA, that's what it is. I followed the handbook for both of my Gen2 installs. Okay. and you're telling me you made no mistakes. Because if you did, if you didn't, I don't believe you. Saying you follow the handbook doesn't mean anything. You can follow a lot of documentation and still make mistakes. Of course, I made mistakes, probably with graphics on both of them. Oh, that's right. I'm retarded. Mount media is wrong. FS type. Bad option. Bad super block dev on VDA. Missing code page helper program. Or other. D-message may have information failed mount system. Ew. You have to partition first. Also, can't help you much because you're dragging onto a side. Oh, yeah, I'm just doing it so I can read. First, you need to mount the root partition to create a mount point. First, make do root the mount, assuming. Yeah, I was trying to partition first, and it's giving me this. I'm assuming I have to. Partition first. Use CFDS. Oh, okay, yeah. You probably wouldn't have had this problem. Well, if you read the entire installation chapter 2. Okay. Oh. I don't know, man. I just ended up there. Billy, that's telling a blind person to read. Yeah, reading is gay. This system is most systems. Create a partition type system that let's do 10 gigs. Let's do 1 gig. Well, actually, blind people can read. It's called Braille. So checkmate, bitch. Very ableist of you. Type EFI system. This is not required, but it might want one depending on system requirements. Let's do 4. Did you choose EFI during the VM setup? If not, you should be doing legacy BIOS. I'm not entirely sure. That's a good question. We're about to find out. Word Manager by default uses BIOS. God damn it. Root file system. God damn it. Look, I see my mistake now, man. There we go. Oh, 83 Linux. Oh, damn it. Better, Bill. Oh, wow, an hour and 46 minutes. Wow, guys, I've given an hour and 46 minutes of my life, and I have been installing another Linux distribution that I'm probably never going to use, but very based and cool. I'll continue on the next stream probably so that we can look at better solutions to the free and open source world. I've also consumed too many beers. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to comment below your favorite form of cloud, the type of cloud that you see in the sky. There's different forms. Mine's the Cumulus, but most importantly, do it for the engagement so YouTube knows that I'm a real person. I love all their policies, and I hate nothing about them. I'm going to go fight an anime character tomorrow at 3 p.m.